Playing with pace is killing NBA teams. Every night you hear the same thing from coaches. Guys, we need to play faster. We need to run. We need to make more pace. And honestly, it makes sense. After the 25 playoffs, teams looked at what Indiana Pacers did and thought they found a blueprint. Play fast, push the pace, run teams off the court. Suddenly, everyone wanted to play pace and space basketball. But the other night, when I was watching NBA games, something felt off. Teams were sprinting up and down the floor, shots were going up, but instead of looking like elite basketball, it looked like a rec game from the YMCA. So I started wondering, is playing faster actually making teams better? First, we need to understand what pace is. Pace refers to how many possessions a team has within a 48-minute game. More pace, more possessions, which in theory should mean more rim attempts, more threes, more shots, more scoring opportunities. So naturally teams think if we play faster, it will create more chances for us to score. But when I started looking at the numbers, I noticed something strange. The teams playing the fastest basketball in the league, the teams with the highest pace, weren't actually the best teams in the league. Meanwhile, some of the best teams in the league are actually the slowest. Teams like the Boston Celtics and the Denver Nuggets consistently rank at the lower end of pace, yet they both have one of the best offenses in the league. So if playing faster is supposed to make you better, why are the best teams slowing it down? This is when I realized that the teams copying the Indiana Pacers completely misunderstood the idea of pace and what pace is supposed to mean. Or at least in the context of what pace meant to the Indiana Pacers. Indiana's offense was never built on the ideology of just playing fast. The Indiana Pacers use pace and speed to create chaos so you can make mistakes, so then they will gain an advantage from their speed and pace. By pushing the ball up quickly, they force defenses into mismatches, cross matches, and they've used this to their advantage. Speed and pace wasn't the goal, advantage creation was. And the same thing happened with the Boston Celtics. Everyone looked at the team and thought they shot a lot of threes and they won the title, so let's just copy them and shoot a lot of threes. But Boston's philosophy around shooting threes was never about launching threes for the fun of it. Though there were times when they did do it, but it was never the true purpose of shooting threes to begin with. They used spacing to get defenses into rotation so they can get quality threes. They were playing the math game, so then they can take the highest value shot possible. While on the surface, it looks like they're taking a lot of threes, but in reality, they're just tilting the math of every possession. This is why the best teams in the league don't use pace as an identity for their basketball team. They use it as a tool. When there is an advantage, they will run and create space and create mismatches and cross matches. But pace is not their identity. And this becomes even more important in the playoffs, because in the playoffs, teams sprint back, defenses get set even on misses. So teams that play with pace or use pace to make it as their identity tend to lose, because the only thing that they can rely on gets shut down. And suddenly pace isn't as big of an advantage as it once was in the regular season. This is why teams like the Celtics and the Nuggets have one of the best elite offensive efficiencies in the league. It's because it's not about the quantity of possessions, it's about the quality of possessions. They make every possession count, and that's how you play elite basketball. They don't chase more possessions, they maximize the ones that they have. So pace isn't the enemy. Running isn't also the problem. The problem is teams think that the moment they play fast, it automatically makes them better. However, speed without structure just causes bad possessions. And just because you have the recipe book, it doesn't mean you can cook. And if NBA teams really want to copy past champions and use their blueprint to build teams and win basketball games, the only thing that they should be copying is half-court execution. Because at the end of the day, it's execution that wins you championships.